If I start telling people about hell, I might just scare them off. Where are you going to scare them off to? Hell number 2? Or are you just going to sit there and let them burn?
Yeah. When you look at, the Agenda 21, how right now they're building these cities or living, I don't even know how to call them, ghettos, where the sidewalk comes out more into the street so that you don't drive anymore. You ride bicycles. The shops are right downstairs, and everyone lives in a high rise. These are the type of communities that are starting to build up now. And so
with less space,
yeah.
like Sheila was saying earlier, you hardly have any space. It costs you a lot more money. Cost of living has increased, so you're living like they do in Japan. Well, not that extreme, but the spaces are a lot smaller.
Yeah,
like you were saying, Chris.
Well, yeah, because they want you. That's because in reality, what they want under Agenda 21 and Agenda 30, really, which is, I call it the global plan for enslavement, they want, and hey, folks, it's coming soon to a local community near you. It's not, oh, well, we're never going to go there in our community. Every single community and city in the United States is a part of this agenda, and they call for these, really bizarre things like dramatically increasing urbanization and forcing populations out of the rural areas into these densely populated, massive mega cities, as you were talking about, these smart cities, these stack and pack micro apartments controlled by these technocrats with the ability to control every aspect of your life, from when you kick on a power tool, have a shower, your smart meter, your smart TV. They're spying and tracking and attacking everyone. And I mean, this is hell on earth is what I call it. And again, it goes back to what Aldous Huxley said: we will make them love their serfdom. I mean, how our grandparents would have took to the street over this garbage, and yet nobody bats an eye. It's crickets chirping in the pulpit.
Food and circus. Go ahead, Roy.
You said something, Sheila. You said nobody's talking about it in the pulpit. How is the Luciferian agenda seeping into the church? And I know you touched on a little bit of it with this yoga and the dangers of it, but what else do you see?
Well, one huge thing I see is, again, we were talking about pantheism, paganism, this blend of Eastern mysticism and feminism and all these isms. If you actually go back and listen, this is really quite interesting. At that 1992 Rio Summit, they actually, this is so amazing, and of course it's 92, so people weren't really paying attention, but they used an invocation at that Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in 1992, and it said, "From the point of light within the mind of God, let stream forth into the minds of men, let right descend on earth, the purpose which the masters know and serve, let light, love, and power restore the planet on earth." What is that? What is that source of light they're talking about there? That great invocation, Rory and Chris, is Lucifer, and the plan is to implement world government and religion grounded in occult powers. That, this is Dr. Strange on steroids. The whole creed here is part of the great invocation, which is based in theosophy and thelema. Alchemy, thelema, theosophy. Theosophy is a blend of Eastern and Western religions, very closely aligned with Vedic Hinduism, but it has all these other pieces. Again, Theosophical Society, Vril, Thule. This is a trio from hell. And so this whole Theosophy Society actually started in New York in about, somewhere at just at the turn of the 19th century. So it wasn't until, as I talked about earlier, Alice Bailey, good old hardcore Luciferian, she broke away from the society in the early 1900s and created Lucifer Trust. And, of course, now we know Lucius Trust, formerly Lucifer Trust. Ironically, just a side note, of course, and by the way, she was very into, she started a publishing company, which is Lucifer Trust, some little plan of theirs, which is interesting that Lucius Trust was actually the ones that printed out all this little slick Global World Federation, this New Age World Citizenship. They printed out all the United Nations literature on the Green Agenda. Like, isn't that unbelievable when you think about it? So in her book, though, Alice Bailey's book, it's called Initiation, Human and Solar. It was written, I think, around like 1922. Well, and also another side note, published by Lucifer Publishing also. But what's really interesting in there, she was talking about the New World Order. And how did she get all the 24 volumes of the cult? She channeled her ascended master. She came up with all these sponsors through Lucius Trust to, the United Nations, Greenpeace, World Wildlife Foundation, Prince Philip's favorite sidekick thing. Ascended masters again? Well, supposedly superhuman beings who are, part of this exalted hierarchy of demigods ties back into, again, Mensch's Uberman, the Superman, the Uberman, the Return of the God-men. This is all part and parcel with the occult that has this rank obsession with summoning the power of these ancient demigods. We saw that with, Aleister Crowley and Anton LaVey, Church of Satan. I mean, all these devils are involved in this throughout the last 1,000 years.
How far have we come to where the church, or at least some of the church, just can't recognize evil? The quote you mentioned earlier about the light. When I hear light, I hear the Force.
Yeah.
I
Remember
hear
we
George
said
Lucas.
Yoda was a Zen master.
Yeah, exactly, right. And I heard, and I haven't done the research yet, but that George Lucas actually made Yoda from an actual Zen master that he met, and he looked just like him, except for the green skin, of course. But this whole Star Wars has spawned a religion, and I'm pretty sure if you go deep enough, you'll see it tied to the exact movement. But we, when we talk about these things to, I guess people that are just, I don't know, they don't want to believe
oblivious
that it's so much evil and such a huge, monstrous conspiracies going on. But think about this, right? The Bible talks about a world religion coming, a one world government, a one world economic system. So why is it so hard to believe? It's in the Bible. It's there. And I think
because you know why? Because I think it's like it's a real life version of AMC's The Walking Dead. You have this zombified, apocalyptic, crazy deer in headlights, dystopic, trance-induced people that are just going along with the soothing sounds of the Pied Piper. I don't know if it's actually MK Ultra or if it's some bizarre form of mind control, but you talk about the New World Order and you just lose people. You get the glassy-eyed look. You get this. You say the word conspiracy, well, then you're automatically written off as a kook. I have a doctorate degree, and I've written books, and I was with government 10 years. I'm not just some Johnny-come-lately kook that just decided to, talk about the green agenda. I mean, this thing is permeating the globe. It's the fastest-growing religion with the young kids. That's a big concern to me for our next generation. And then on the heels of that, you got George Soros and guys like Gore that are bankrolling this elaborate $100 billion a year levy, and then you've got all these, again, communities running around, shutting down farms, over a puddle. Are you kidding me? And it's lining these guys' pockets, and yet, here's the deal: the climate's been changing since God created it. I call it weather.
If you like our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get all our frequent updates.